What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is, although we have seen how what we think is the Night King created, although we do not hear that word Night King when dealing with the creation of the White Walkers.
It was you. You made the White Walkers.
All we hear Bran say is, "You made the White Walkers." He does not say, "You created the Night King." Now, this could be the Night King who was strapped up against that tree, or it may just be a regular White Walker, the first White Walker. And if that's the case, then how did the Night King get created? And who is the Night King? Now that we know that there are no creatures that live in the land of always winter, and they were just regular human beings who were transformed into these White Walkers and then sent back there to live after most of them were defeated, who is the Night King? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly who will be the Night King in the books, and you can take it to the bank. And I'll be doing this by relying on history, what we have gotten in the books, and a few minor details from the show, because I do not believe Dan and Dave made all that up. I believe they were given this, so I think a couple of things from the show do apply. So let's start with the history of the real Night King. As the sun began to set, the shadows of the towers lengthened and the wind blew harder, sending gusts of dead, dry leaves rattling through the yard. The gathering gloom put Bran in the mind of another of old Nan's stories, the tale of the Night's King. He had been the 13th man to lead the Night's Watch, she said, a warrior who knew no fear. And that was the fault of him, she would add, for all men must know fear. A woman was his downfall, a woman glimpsed from atop the wall, with skin as white as the moon and eyes like blue stars. Fearing nothing, he chased her and caught her and loved her, though her skin was as cold as ice. And when he gave his seed to her, he gave his soul as well. He brought her back to the Night Fort and proclaimed her a queen, and himself her king. And with strange sorceries he bound his sworn brothers to his will. For 13 years they had ruled, Night's King and his corpse queen, till finally the Stark of Winterfell and Jorah of the Wildlings had joined to free the Watch from bondage. After his fall, when it was found out he had been sacrificing to the others, all records of the Night's King had been destroyed, and his very name forbidden. So this is the only reference that we get to a Night's King from the books, and it turns out that he was a regular human, 13th Lord Commander, who ruled for 13 years. And he became the Night's King, or declared himself the Night's King, after he found what appears to be a female other. And it seems that his turn happened after he had sex with this woman, but not when he just had sex with her. It says specifically when he gave his seed to this woman, that is when he gave his soul. So when he impregnated this woman, this is when he gave his soul and most likely became the Night King. Now, is he looking like the same person that we've seen in the show? We have no idea. Does he look like a White Walker? We have no idea. We can assume that he did, or he does, but we truly have no idea. So knowing this, that he was the 13th Lord Commander, and this is when he existed, we know that the Night's Watch was formed after the first long night. So during the first battle with the White Walkers, there was no Night King, right? He declared himself Night King. He made that name up for himself. So there was no Night King of the White Walkers that we've seen. So this guy became the Night King. It's a good chance that this person was a Stark of Winterfell. Now, it also says that he controlled his Night Watch brothers using some type of sorcery. The only way we see people being controlled by others is skin changing. We know that the Starks have the ability to warg animals. So it could be a situation where there was skin changing going on into these people, and that's how he controlled them. unless somehow he turned them into White Walkers themselves. Now, we've seen that if he was turned into a White Walker, it seemed like he was turned into one by having sex with the Night Queen. Now, I don't know if she's the thought. I don't know if she's down with Cardi B and she's got the WAP going on there. If he's going to allow all of his other brothers to have sex with his woman, because it seemed like he cared about her a lot. So it seems like if he did turn them into White Walkers, it could not be the same way that he was turned into a White Walker. Now, to have control of the people like that, we only see one person really that's started this whole thing, and that is the children of the forest. And they have sacrifices, blood sacrifices, that I believe give them power in order to control people. We see a form of this in the video game Game of Thrones.
His beating heart, and his death can have meaning. We can use it for a greater purpose, Garrett. An ancient ritual to help harness the power of the North Grove. I'm far too weak. You saw what happened after the fight. My warriors, they're pulling away. Please, I need you to do this. Now bring it here. Squeeze the blood into the fire. While it's still warm. Donge treo rekaig sprag. Svogenes forbule.
And before you say, Teflon, that's a video game, they got the rights to make this video game from HBO and George R.R. Martin, who consulted on the game. So they're not just making this stuff or pulling this out of their ass. They have reasons why they're showing this. So I believe that's how they controlled the Night's Watchmen, by doing blood sacrifices, and that's how they kept them under control all those years. Now, it also says that they found out after they defeated him that he was doing sacrifices to the others, so sacrifices to the White Walkers. What were these sacrifices that he was doing to the White Walkers? Now, we only see one form of sacrifice from the show that directly goes to the White Walkers, and that is Craster, him leaving his babies to the White Walkers. Craster lived high as a lord there, so why shouldn't he do the same? That would be a laugh. Chet the Leech Man's son, a lord with a keep. His banner could be a dozen leeches on a field of pink, but why stop at lord? Maybe he should be king. Mance Rayder started out a crow. I could be king same as him, and have me some wives. Craster had 19, not even counting the young ones, the daughters he hadn't gotten around to bedding yet. Craster raised his daughters up to be his wives, but there were neither men nor boys to be seen about his compound. Gilly had told John that Craster gave his sons to the gods. If the gods are good, they will send her a daughter, Sam prayed. So in these things we see quotes here that Craster lived like a high lord, almost like a king, because he had so many wives. And this guy contemplates maybe he should be doing the exact same thing. Also, in the next clip, we see that Gilly says that Craster sacrifices, gives all his sons to the gods. And these gods we know are the White Walkers. Craster owned but one chair. He sat in it, clad in a sleeveless sheepskin jerkin. His thick arms were covered with white hair. About one wrist was a twisted ring of gold. Lord Commander Mormont took the place at the top of the bench to his right, while the brothers crowded in knee to knee. A dozen remained outside to guard the gate and tend the fires. So from this we can see that Craster is truly a king, and Commander Mormont is acting as Hand of the King, or he has the position of Hand of the King by standing on the bench to the right of Craster at this particular time. If we had a Night Queen, it would be almost the exact same situation that we seen at the Night Fort at this time. There had been no attacks while they had been at Craster's, neither whites nor others. Nor would there be, said Craster. A godly man got no cause to fear such. I said as much to that Mance Rayder once, when he came sniffing around. He never listened, No more than you crows with your swords and your bloody fires. That won't help you none when the white cold comes. Only the gods will help you then. You best get right with the gods. So King Craster has no fear of the White Walkers. Just like the 13th Lord Commander had no fear. Because he's doing sacrifices to the gods, which are the White Walkers. Just like we've seen the Night King give sacrifices to the White Walkers when he was at the Night Fort. And this is just the new version of the Night Fort, Craster's Keep. And instead of this Night King having one bride, he has a bunch of brides. He has a bunch of wives. And in the story of the Night's King, it said when he gave his seed, he gave her soul to her. And that's going on with his wives, because when he gives them his seed, he gives them his soul. His soul is the male line, and he gives that to the White Walkers. So they serve the same purpose as the Night Queen served for the Night's King all those years ago, which is to create more White Walkers. And Craster brags that he's had 99 sons, so he has given 99 babies to the White Walkers before his death. And his last son that he had that the White Walkers did not get their hands on would have been his 100th sacrifice, and that 100th sacrifice would have been Monster, or should we call him Baby Sam, who is referred to as Monster in the books. I was singing to myself. Am I to blame if he listens? A faint smile brushed her lips. It makes him laugh. Oh, very well. He is a sweet little monster. Monster? His milk name. I had to call him something. See that he stays safe and warm, for his mother's sake, and mine. And keep him away from that red woman. She knows who he is. She sees things in her fires. So in the Feast for Crows, Gilly is sent south aboard the ship to Old Town with Samwell, Darren, Maester Aemon, and her child. However, Jon Snow, him being the new Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, has swapped Gilly's son with Dahlia's, who is Mance Rayder's wife who died during childbirth. This is done to spare the innocent child from Melisandre's flames on account of his king's blood, leaving Gilly's son at the wall. So Jon Snow thinks he's doing a good thing, thinking that Melisandre is going to burn Mance Rayder's son because she believes that has king's blood. But here in this quote, we see that clearly Val says that the Red Woman knows who he is, referring to Gilly's son Monster. She sees things in her fire. And we know that Gilly got her name from the Gilly flower. And another name for the Gilly flower is Mother of the Evening, which sounds a lot like Night's Queen, if you ask me. Last but not least, we have a quote of Azor Ahai. The pages that told of Azor Ahai, Lightbringer was his sword, tempered with his wife's blood, if Voltar can be believed. Thereafter, Lightbringer was never cold to the touch, but warm as Nissa had been warm. In battle, the blade burned fiery hot. Once Azor Ahai fought a monster. So when I look at the story of Night King, the Night's King from the books, we see that he was with a Night Queen. He gave his seed to her. They gave sacrifices to the others. The only thing we see in the book that does these things, checks all the boxes, is Craster and his son Monster. Craster gave his seed to the White Walkers, which also gave him his soul by him giving up his sons. Azor Ahai fought a monster. His son is named Monster. He just happens to be the 100th son born. And the White Walkers came after him specifically. That tells me, and Jon Snow tried to do the right thing by leaving him at the wall, but I think it's going to be the wrong thing in the end, because they're going to come for that baby, because Monster is the new Night King. whose Mother Gilly's name, if you want to go by the flower's name, is Mother of the Evening, which sounds like Night Queen. But again, you tell me in the comment section what you think. Who do you believe is the next Night King? Will we have a Night King in the books? And as always, if this video hits 400 likes, I will give away 2 months of Netflix or an Amazon gift card for the same amount to a subscriber who leaves a comment on this video. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.